I just can't give it up. Yeah, yeah. Yes, sir. What is going on, YouTube? It is your boy Denali, aka Don Squally, and as you guys can see, we are in the 2010 Lexus RX350. Now, a lot of people have been inquiring, wondering why I would buy an RX and make YouTube videos about it on my channel. There's a long answer and there's a short answer, and today we're going to be going over pretty much every answer as to why I ended up purchasing this vehicle. So for those of you guys who have been subscribed to the channel for a while, you will know that I am a Nissan guy at heart. I've always enjoyed driving Nissans for the speed, for the affordability, for the amount of performance that you get with a Nissan or an Infiniti. But for those of you guys who know, I also do own a 2010 Toyota Tundra, and I have grown accustomed to the reliability and the very low maintenance that Toyota products offer. So in the 2.5 years that I've owned my Tundra, I have really not spent any money on it. I had to do a leaf spring, I had to do the rear brakes, and it's due for some front brakes very shortly. So through and through, it's been a really great, really reliable vehicle. So my summer car is a 2004 Infiniti G35 6-speed, and last summer I made a video titled "Looking for a New Daily." I'm pretty sure it was last summer, maybe a couple months ago. And I was basically looking for a Lexus IS350 rear wheel drive. Now, again, my G35 is manual, but because I was looking for a new daily with the IS350, I was looking for an automatic. My commute is an hour one way in the afternoons with traffic. It can be an hour and a half, 2 hours, with it being the longest that it's ever been since I moved out to the place that I'm at right now. So having an automatic 3.5 liter high horsepower sedan really was the end goal for the daily. And shortly after I made that video looking for a new daily, I was hit with some new news that kind of changed my perspective on what vehicle I needed. So for those of you guys who have been subscribed for a while, you will know that I'm a new father. My son's about 1 year and 9 months at the point of me making this video. Well, I'm expecting my second child in March of 2023. So that kind of changed my opinion on what vehicle I needed as a daily, or wanted, I should say. Now, I already got the sports sedan, which is the G35. So it didn't make sense for me to get an IS350. You know, when I already have a sports sedan in the summertime, I enjoy it, I drive it. So it got me thinking, you know what, I really need to change the type of vehicle that I'm looking for. We have a 2008 Honda Civic sedan in the fleet. We got the 04 G35 in the fleet. We got the Toyota Tundra 2010 in the fleet. So realistically, for me, the next logical purchase would have been a small SUV. Now, obviously, with me being a Nissan head, I was initially drawn obviously to the EX35s, which are a little smaller than I would have preferred. I did test drive a couple of those. Obviously the FX35 being a little bit bigger than the EX would have been a great option as well. And I do have lots of parts that would be compatible for both of those vehicles. But the big problem with Nissans, as much as I am a Nissan lover, they do over time inherently have their issues. And you know, again, I just really got accustomed to the Tundra and the reliability. Let's see if we can drop her down into first and do a little highway pull here. This thing's sick, man, sick. So yeah, because of the fact that the Nissans just are problematic as they get older, I decided to start looking at some Toyota SUVs. Now, the Toyota brand itself, being RAV4s, Highlanders, 4Runners, to me, Toyotas are just very boring vehicles. There's really nothing about them that's you know, gets me going. They're not really sporty. Some of them, the newer Camrys, are sporty, but as far as SUVs go, the Toyota brand just didn't really offer a whole lot for me, which is why I started looking at the Lexus SUVs, the RX350s, the RX330s, and so on and so forth. Now, one of the main reasons that I ended up going with the RX350 this generation is just because of the reliability. These cars have a track record for reliability. They got a timing chain as opposed to a timing belt, which is basically low maintenance. Now, this is an interference engine, so if the chain does go, it's going to cause some significant damage to the engine, but these things just go and go and go with very little maintenance, and that is one of the main reasons that I ended up going with the RX350. And one of the other things that I really enjoy about this vehicle, especially after owning it for a month or so, is it's just such a comfortable car. Like, I used to drive the Civic into work every single day. My back would be hurting, the exhaust, it's loud, it's bouncing around, it's not a whole lot of power for passing. This car is just, it checks all the boxes. It's just super comfortable. A lot of space, much more space than my Altima when I flip the back seats down. It does have the roof rack on the top, so if I wanted to, I could put my Thule roof box on top of this thing. It's just, it's a very enjoyable vehicle to drive. And with regards to the power, now I know an IS350 of this year is pushing around 300 horsepower. That is the rear wheel drive base 3.5 liter motor. The engine that's in this thing is essentially a derivative from the Camry motor, from the ES350 motors. It's a front wheel drive base motor, so the motor's sideways as opposed to front and back. Not as much power as the IS350. It does have about 280 horsepower. Now, one thing about that is this is a heavy vehicle. You know what I mean? This weighs about 4,500 pounds, whereas the IS350 is around 3,500 pounds. So even though it does have comparable power, it is still a relatively heavy vehicle. But nonetheless, with the intake, probably do a few other small modifications to this thing. The motor still has enough power to have fun with. I have no question that I'll be able to hang with some, you know, some MDXs, some of the earlier Hemi-powered Dodge Durangos or Jeep Cherokees. Just a comfortable, relatively decent powered vehicle. And obviously I put the intake on this thing. You guys heard it. Sounds absolutely mint, which a lot of guys were asking, why would I put an intake on an RX350? And just because I'm driving a dad wagon does not mean that I still don't want to have fun in this thing. So yeah, that's the reason that I ended up putting the intake on it. And you know, we got the Tiptronic, so we can still have a little bit of fun if we want to roll through the gears and stuff like that. Now, even though I did want a rear wheel drive vehicle with the IS350, your options with the RX350s are either front wheel drive or all wheel drive. And if I was getting an SUV, even though the all wheel drive does require a little bit more maintenance, I definitely wanted to go this route over the front wheel drive, just because I've driven a lot of front wheel drive vehicles, and I feel like in the snow the all-wheel drive will still be a little bit more fun than driving something that's front wheel drive. And obviously with my growing family, it's gonna be much safer when we're going on those big long road trips. So in a nutshell, those are the reasons that I ended up going with the RX350. Now, I hope my subscribers can bear with me. Since I had my first kid, I understand, you know, the content's been kind of slow. Haven't really been doing too much as far as modifications, just some basic maintenance and small upgrades to the cars that I do own. And now, you know, with the new addition to my family coming this summer, it's gonna be another slow year for your boy Don Squally, let's just say that. But nonetheless, I'm gonna still be putting out some content on the RX. Obviously the G35 isn't going anywhere. With it being on the stock tune now, next summer I'm thinking we're gonna get the nitrous kit on that. It's already installed. We're gonna fill up the bottle, get it on there, and hit the track, because one of the big problems with putting the nitrous kit on the G35 with it being tuned is that it wasn't tuned for nitrous. The timing was way too advanced. Would have caused some serious damage if I had have put it on there and used it as is. So yeah, the Civic's just kind of in storage. The Tundra doesn't really require anything. So yeah, for those of you guys who are still sticking around, I appreciate the support. For those of you guys who are wondering why I would buy an RX350 and flex it on YouTube, well, that's the reason. Again, just because you know, just because I drive a dad wagon doesn't mean that I'm again not trying to have fun. And you know, I modify every single vehicle that I own. I owned a Pontiac Montana minivan, and that mofo was still front lip, had the 17s on there, you know what I mean, the roof rack, the yellow like headlights and all that good stuff. So expect to see a lot more of this vehicle on the channel. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So with that being said, I'm thinking we're probably gonna put an end to this one. Appreciate you guys staying tuned, and with that being said, I am your boy D-Nolly, aka Don Squally, and we're gonna catch y'all mofos at the next one, man. Peace.